What is going on, everybody? What is going on? Welcome to this week's episode 83 of the STS Guys. I am Jeremy.
Hey, it's Larry.
Hey guys, it's Nate.
Scott's out sick.
Scott's out sick.
I've got to find that recording.
We got to find that audio
Yeah,
clip
we
and just play it one time.
said that the other time, right? I don't remember if Scott was out sick or if we were just talking about it, but yes, we need to find that again.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, there's a mythical recording out there of someone who basically STS Guys super fan who wanted to basically make some intro music for us, and he was very detailed in his intro music. Just because the episode that he listened for inspiration, Scott happened to be out sick that week, and he incorporated Scott's out sick into the song.
Yeah,
it's a pretty epic song.
It's a pretty great song. I was really impressed that he threw that together.
If you can find it, throw it on the end of the audio version of the podcast.
Yeah, so okay, I'll do that. So I'll give a bonus to our audio listeners out there in Spotify, Podcoin, iTunes, Google Play, and all the million other audio sources. Audio listeners will get a bonus this week. Like I said I will find that audio clip, play it at the end of the podcast. So enjoy the rendition of the original STS Guys intro music.
I'm gonna replay the episode just so I can hear that.
Me too, because I haven't heard it in forever. We're talking about this. It was a single digit episode.
Yeah,
probably right. It was early in this.
Well, it had to be at least double because it was after 11.
Oh, was it? Okay, then maybe it's like 11. Maybe it was like 12. Then
you're probably right. It was like 13, 12.
Yeah, it was early.
Yeah, it's definitely under 20. I know that for a fact. I know it's under 20.
Yeah, all right.
I said it's an early episode. But like I said, I will tack that on just because, like I said, the world needs to hear this.
I like it. I have, and it's been a week story.
It's been a week.
Okay, let's say it's been a week. Let's hear it.
Let's hear that. All
right. So I need your opinion on something, right? So no spoilers, but I went and saw Detective Pikachu this morning.
Ooh.
We went to a new theater. It's assigned seats, the nice recliners and all that stuff. But the guy sitting next to me, middle-aged guy, right? Like, I don't know, mid-20s at least. I guess that's not middle-aged, but like mid-20s with a girlfriend. It's the kind of guy that you're surprised has a girlfriend, is going to see the Detective Pikachu movie wearing a Pikachu shirt on a Saturday at 9:40 a.m. So that's the kind of guy we're talking about,
You're
right?
painting a good visual here.
Yeah, thank you. So he comes to the theater, sits down, kicks back, and immediately takes off his shoes. Bright white, thick socks, right there in my face. I want your guys' opinion. Not really, because it was early still. Okay. Like it was okay. So I want your guys' opinion. Is it okay to take off your shoes at the movie theater? Now that you got the nice seats, right? You're like making yourself at home. Is it okay to do this?
I'm gonna say no. It's still a public place. I don't know. Nobody wants, and that's the thing. The smell. If it was later in the day, there may be some funk coming from those shoes. Yeah. You don't want to expose everybody else to that.
I'm gonna say no as well, just because it's just so weird.
Plus, you're putting a lot of trust in other people to be going around barefoot or with your socks on in a public place. I don't trust anybody.
Yeah, that too. Right, it's kind of gross, but that's what I was thinking. I'm like, this dude instantly sat down and made himself comfortable. I'm like, dude, put your shoes on, man.
And I get that the theater experience now. They're trying to bring the comforts of home into the theater. You have your recliner. You can now get beers in the theater.
Yeah,
you can have
food.
Your food
to you.
Yeah, your food brought to you. I said they're making it a like, hey, you know what? Come to the theater. I said, it's just like home, but not. But at the same point in time, you're not at home, is it? No. You're at a movie theater.
And you're like inches away from a stranger.
No, it's so talking about people getting comfortable and stuff like that. Because I also see this quite a bit too. Where people will bring in blankets and pillows.
Yeah. I've seen that too.
into the movies.
They
I'm like,
sell blankets at the theater we went to today. They actually sell blankets. It's weird.
That's weird.
I don't know. Like to me, like I said, it's just super weird.
Yeah.
It's super weird.
Plus, that makes me want to like pass out. You know, if I had a pillow and a blanket, I'm gonna be like sleeping. You know, I don't want to sleep. I want to be alert. I want to be awake. It's odd. It's become like, you know, you're home away from home. Let's go to the movies and act like home.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd just rather be at home.
Exactly.
Right.
Where I can have my shoes off if I choose to have my shoes off. And I'm not bothering a stranger because I was distracted through that entire movie because dude's feet were over there.
Well,
at least he didn't. He left his socks on though, right?
Yes, he left his socks on.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's still so strange and weird because, like I said, but that's how it starts, though. So pretty soon, like I said, you know, it starts with, hey, you know what? I'm just removing my feet, my shoes. How far away from removing the pants are we?
Yeah, right. The
Like,
Murray
so-
Goldberg.
Yeah.
Like, how long before you're dropping your pants at the door?
You're dropping your pants at the door. Like I said, well, it said you got your blanket, so you have your mop and blanket still. So
Well, yeah, you have the blanket so you can cover up your legs. You got your boxers there. You're good.
yeah, like as weird as and kind of as funny as it sounds, I actually see that happening in the foreseeable future. Just because, like I said, it's stair steps, and it starts with the socks and the shoes, getting all comfy, and then you get the blankets and the pillows. Pretty soon, you know what? We're just gonna turn into full on beds. Drop your pants. You're good to go.
Yeah, bring your pajamas. You're good.
There were kids wearing pajamas this morning, but they were kids.
Were they Pokemon pajamas?
They were Pokemon pajamas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
That is an interesting week, Larry.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. I hadn't told you guys yet, but yeah.
All right.
I don't know, man.
Before we get too started, so do you guys want to hear a tale of transportation?
Oh
Yes.
So this time, this time it wasn't public transportation. This time it was hey, I needed a lift home just because it was pouring down rain. I didn't want to wait for the bus. So I'm like, you know what? It was Friday. Let me just take a lift. And so, I kid you not, it is the craziest lift experience I've ever had in my entire life. Let's just put it this way. So I get in the car. The dude asked me a question right off the bat. It's like, hey, so what side do you fall on? And of course, like I said, when you're talking about sides, I'm like, okay. I'm like, is he talking like politics? He's talking about like orientation. Like what's he talking about? And then I posed a question, and this was my mistake. I'm like, what do you mean?
Uh-oh.
Then he retorts back to me. He's like, do you think the Federal Reserve is a government institution?
What?
First of all, how the hell are you supposed to know that that's what he's talking about?
It'd be weird if that's where it stopped at. I'd be fine. But that was just the beginning of the ride from hell. And so, like I said, me sitting in the back seat and like him like talking to me multiple times. So it's like, so what side do you fall on? I'm like, I don't know. I've never really thought about it. I'm like, just so I can get the deflection off of me trying to answer this question because I'm like, I don't know what he wants to hear. I'm like, where do you fall in this situation?
Yeah.
Smart.
So I deflected back to him. So I'm like, okay, that's smart. And so then he goes into he's like, no. He's like, it's all a government conspiracy. I'm like, oh boy.
Uh-oh.
So he starts going into all these crazy conspiracies about. So, for example, like the craziest one that I heard was the Federal Reserve isn't a government institution, but it's actually ran by spies, and they're responsible for sinking the Titanic.
What?
Yeah. Okay.
Not the iceberg.
No, not the iceberg, the Federal Reserve. But it doesn't stop there. So we get on the freeway, and then he starts like talking about, goes on and on about the Titanic, and then he starts talking about like the most random like racist stuff. I'm like, no one's gonna believe me about this conversation. So I'm like, I wish I could have started recording the conversation back at the Titanic stuff, because that stuff was pure gold. So I started recording this conversation. I had my phone on the seat to start like just recording this. I'm like, people aren't gonna believe this. This guy's certifiably nuts. So he starts going off on all these like the most racist opinions and thoughts that you could ever imagine. Someone. Keep it in mind, I'm just sitting here, not engaging him in conversation. He's just spouting all this out. I'm in this guy's car for like 45 minutes, just because there's the rain delay and trying to get home, of him just like this spouting out like this most random stuff. And then I'm at this point in time, I'm like trying to like ponder to myself. I'm like, do I just like, hey dude, I put in the wrong address. This is
right. I live at the subway.
I live at the subway.
Right. Let me out.
I really want a sandwich right now.
Closest intersection, please.
Yeah. Or Mike said, do I go home? I'm like, so I'm like weighing back to myself. Then he turns on to the tollway, and so on the tollway here, once you get on the tollway, I said you're stuck on the tollway until you get to your destination, pretty much. So I'm like, crap. Okay, so evidently he said the subway is not an option. I'm on the tollway, so he's got to drop me off. So he just keeps on going and talking about all this stuff, and I can't even play this. I said I can't even play the audio on the podcast, just because I said it has some weird painted stuff on there that I don't want to promote. But it was just the weirdest experience that I've ever had. And it made me question, do I ever want to actually take a Lyft ever again? So I bring this back to you guys. Like, have you guys had any crazy Uber or Lyft experiences where they start talking about conspiracies and government takeovers?
I can't say I've had one where they're talking about conspiracies, but I have had some pretty bad Uber experiences, mostly with erratic driving and not feeling safe in the car.
Wait, what kind of driving?
Driving.
Erratic? Did I say erotic? I said erotic. As soon as you repeated that back, I'm like, wait, hold on a second. I think I said erotic.
I'm just curious to see what erotic driving is all about.
He's taking his clothes off as he's driving.
Right? Boner City.
No, more of just not feeling safe in the car. The guy was going like 95 on a 65 and not wanting to listen to me telling him to slow down. I'm like, hey, can you please slow down? He's like, no, it's fine. We're going to keep going. I'm like, wait, hold on a second. We're going way too fast here. But no conspiracy theories, though. Just feeling unsafe.
You'll probably remember my weird Uber Lyft story. Remember when we were in Vegas and we got in and both of the back seats were wet?
Oh, yeah.
We were trying to figure out if it was pee or water. It was probably pee.
Yeah. So post podcast, but post podcast, just so that way you guys can get a peek of this. I'll play the audio for you guys post podcast.
Right.
You guys
Sounds good.
Stick around for a few minutes because it's pretty funny.
We a related topic. We actually got an email at work like a week or two ago about warnings for taking an Uber or Lyft. One of the things I had never thought of was make sure that the child's safety locks in the back seat aren't on, right? Because if you get in the back seat, like you almost always do, if they've like flipped that little switch, you can't get out unless they let you out. So apparently that's a thing. I hadn't heard that one before.
That's kind of terrifying. Yeah, it's terrifying. That's a warning. Like make sure.
Yeah, that means it had to happen to somebody, right? Or multiple somebodies.
Make sure you can get out of the car when you get in.
So was there a prompt to this? Like it's just out of the blue that you got that?
Out of the blue.
Yep. Just a random email saying, hey, by the way, if you're going to take Ubers, be cautious of these things.
Yep. Weird, right?
So something happened to somebody.
Yeah.
Where I said it prompted an email.
Yeah.
Oh, stories of Uber. I said I wish basically the community could just come together and just like said catalog and write these stories down. Because I'm pretty sure, like I said, there's some super, super entertaining stories out there.
Yep. I've actually got a new idea for this erotic driving thing. I think I might need to make my own company. You know, you have Uber, you've got Lyft. Mine is all about the erotic driving experience.
Yours is a different kind of lift.
Some guys in the chat are interested. I might get some customers. You never know.
Why do you just think about it, guys in the chat? Oh, erotic.
If you need a ride, I might be in your area with erotic driving.
I think you should. I think Nate started up.
I'm going to.
Uber and Lyft are in so much hot water right now with their drivers, anyways. I think if you start Nate's erotic driving service.
I'll go to like Bikini Beans and those other places. Of like, you guys need a job. Bottoms Up, or Twin Peaks, Hooters. Go to those girls. Be like, hey, how about you make some money driving? You can get tips and you can be erotic at the same time.
You can get tips and you can get tips.
You drive around wearing a bikini or lingerie.
I think that's a fabulous idea.
God,
I think you just cracked basically the future of transportation, Nate, by a Freudian slip.
Saying erotic instead of erratic.
It's all fun until the first rape, and then
that's true. That's some serious insurance claims.
So maybe you just have like almost like a cop car then. So like you have like the last thing. So you can look, but you can't touch.
You got to sign a waiver before you go in. Like, you will not touch this person.
There's thing, or maybe like kind of like when if you go to the club, like they have the driver there, but then you have a bouncer in the passenger seat in front.
There you go.
No touching.
Right, Tiny's gonna mess you up if you're.
Tiny's gonna mess you up.
That's a genius idea. It's just a security guard that goes with the driver at all times.
Funkos with Chris, auto erotica with me.
That's amazing.
I have so many different things right now. I actually want to make a logo for this.
Yeah, this idea is really getting me interested now.
It's really getting you excited.
I'm really excited for the erotica.
Oh man!
It's like you're in Vegas. You're there with your friends. Do you want an Uber? Do you want Lyft, or do you want auto erotica?
Yeah, you could replace the free limo service that pulls up and takes you to the strip club, right? You can quarter in on that market.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. You don't even have to go to the club. The club comes to you.
Yes, the club before the club. Get your lap dance on your way to getting lap dances.
You gotta be careful about pre-club.
Yeah, he said pre-club.
So what are we talking about this week?
Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes.
A different
Game of Thrones.
So
Tyler says autoerotica sounds like 50 Shades of Grey meets Transformers.
You don't want a Decepticon.
You'll walk away with some different Cybertron disease that you would want to use.
You know what? Scott's could be mad he missed this.
Seriously, Scott could really be adding this conversation right now.
Scott would be all over this conversation. Shout out to Scott. Like I said, make sure. You guys have a responsibility to make sure Scott listens to the audio version of this, just because, like I said, this right now is gold.
I'm on it.
It should be one of those blooper things, when we maybe make one of those someday.
But it's
like a Patreon exclusive video where we just talk about Nate's Uber idea. Let us know in the chat if you'd pay $1 a month to listen to that.
Yes. STS Guys Unplugged.
Yeah. Right?
I like the idea.
Okay, future episode idea. We just pitch. So we've pitched Star Wars episodes that have different spins. Why don't we just pitch different businesses?
Yeah, all right.
And have different spins.
I like it.
But you guys have done that before, that awesome episode where you talk about the different Star Wars shows. Yeah.
Literally just said that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Nate's not listening.
No, I am listening.
Literally just said that.
It just made me think about it again. Oh, God.
Oh, Nate.
Oh, boy. All right, Game of Thrones, right?
Game of Thrones. Thrones of Games.
Thrones of Games.
The show that I haven't watched past season 1. So this is the part where Larry's just going to sit here fairly quiet for the next 40 minutes.
I do want to ask, why haven't you made it past season 1, Larry?
The dicks.
No, I don't even think I made it that far. I don't know. Like I watched season 1, it was fine, and I started season 2, and I just never went back to it. Like I think I was trying to. So honestly, like I think I was trying to watch it on my phone, small screen. Like I was having a hard time like following what was going on, figuring out which characters which, like who belonged with which family and stuff. Like I don't know, and it just one day turns into 100 days, turns into a couple years, and all of a sudden you're way behind. And I just never felt the urge to go back. And now it's almost done, so it's like, whatever. Right? There's how many episodes left?
2.
2 episodes.
Yeah.
Which is a little surprising considering where we've gotten so far in the season. I feel like there's still a lot to tell. Yeah.
So let's rewind it back from the beginning. And then I said, because I want to talk about, like I said, the very kind of beginning, and then let's talk about kind of this current season. Just because, Nate, I don't know how you feel. Like I said, for me, like I said, there's some really big contrasts to the pacing and the flow of past seasons versus this current season. And we'll get into more of that in a second. But Larry, to your point, like I said, yeah, it's definitely something you have to watch on a big screen, and it's one of those shows where you have to. So it's not like The Community, or it's not like The Office, or it's not like Parks and Rec, where it's a little background show. You could totally have it on. Like it's a show where you literally have to pay attention to every single detail, just because the one detail that you missed, they'll bring up like 3 seasons later, just because it plays a part into the story, which I think is great storytelling. Like I said, I think it's great crafting of these narratives and kind of tying these different seasons together. And I think kind of what makes the whole kind of series great in the first place is they're not afraid to basically kind of take chances and kill off the main characters. And I think that's what kind of got people hooked on in the beginning. So I don't know. What do you think about that, Nate?
No, I totally agree with you. That's one thing I've loved about Game of Thrones. To Larry's earlier point, there's a ton of characters. The story is huge. But if you really start to get invested into it, you really get hooked because they flesh out every character so well. And something else that Jeremy said, you'll see something that happens to a character maybe in one season. The next season, it's tying into that again. So the world that they've built is just huge. And everything's been about, winter's coming. They haven't really addressed it in prior seasons very much. John's always kind of been the one that's crusading against, like, we need to prepare for this shit. But it's been a lot of like the Game of Thrones, like fighting for the Iron Throne and dealing with all the houses. So, it's one of those shows that it's a big investment of time, and you really got to be paying attention to what's going on, because if you miss something, you might have missed a really important detail. But I absolutely love Game of Thrones. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. They really have done an excellent job on HBO at making this epic show. And it's one of those things, like it's bigger than Lord of the Rings for me. Like Lord of the Rings was a huge world, but I feel like this is even bigger than that. But yeah, I mean,
this has multiple seasons. Game of Thrones. No, this is Game of Thrones. Lord of the Rings was only like 3 movies. Yeah, they were long movies, right? But the shows had more time to develop those characters and stuff. So yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I actually tried to get my fiance in on it like earlier, and she wasn't really interested. And then it got more popular. And as around like season 4, she's like, "Okay, I want to watch this." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Right. She didn't trust you. She trusted the rest of the world.
Exactly. So then we started all over again. But I'm kind of glad I did, because now I feel like an expert in the world and the lore and the different characters, and it's really made me appreciate the future of the show.
No, I agree, and I think that the crafting of these stories, it makes you feel invested. Basically, it makes you choose sides. It definitely makes you choose sides, and it makes you kind of second guess, like I said, your kind of allegiances. Just because I think there's just vast characterization changes from season to season, and like so, for example, I'm going to pick on one character specifically, Jaime Lannister. So Jaime Lannister, like I said, from episode 1, like I said, you hate that guy. Like I said, he's there. He's banging his sister. He pushes. He pushes Bran Stark out the window and cripples him. Like all around jerk, right? But then that character changes over time after he's captured. His interactions with Lady Brienne, this, that, and the other. Like where you actually end up feeling sorry for the guy. You actually end up liking the guy because, like I said, he seems to turn a corner.
Mm-hmm.
And then all that's brought back to, like I said, this current season. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what kind of makes some of the different stories sort of so powerful from season to season.
Well, yeah, and he loves Cersei to a fault. He wants to be a good person, but she keeps bringing him back in to her evilness, and he can't stop but wanting to be loyal to her.
He can't stop in that.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. Hit it.
Just get to that sister love.
Let's talk about the current season, though. So, as I said, we've talked about how, I said, this show has been, like I said, just a show of epic proportions. Like I said, it plays out like a movie. Like I said, the different special effects, the epic battles. Like, so I keep, like, honestly, one of my favorite moments of all time throughout this show. It's actually probably one of my favorite battle scenes ever. Like, I'm talking about, like, between, like, Gladiator and Braveheart and all this other stuff. Like I said, the Battle of the Bastards. Like I said, that battle scene was epic. Like I said, it was epic. You felt tension. I said, you basically, like, how is this going to happen? Like, how is this going to fix between, like I said, when they're talking between, Jon Snow and, I can't think of his name right now.
Ramsay Bolton.
Ramsay Bolton. Yeah. Who you saw on a plane and got stunned by.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. I think his first name's Raywin. I can't remember his last name, but yeah, to Jeremy's point, I saw him on a plane once. I'm like, holy shit, it's Ramsay Bolton. And I was geeking out. I'm like, hey, can I have your photo? And he's like, no. And he just kind of said no and turned and looked away. And I didn't say anything else to him. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to bother him. But he's an asshole on the show, and he's an asshole in real life. Sorry, Ramsay actor.
Why are you apologizing? If he's an asshole, he's an asshole.
I thought he was kind of a dick.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, but I agree, man. Battle of Bastards is one of the best scenes in the entire show, and they do battles justice. Like, it reminds me of when I watched Braveheart for the first time. Watching those battle scenes were just so epic, and there's blood and people are dying and they're getting their heads chopped off and just crazy shit's happening the whole time. And the Battle of Bastards is a good representation of that. And I think I know where Jeremy's going with this, because we got another epic battle in this season. And the first thing I'm doing is checking the brightness on my TV. Like, is this broken? I can't really see very well.
Dude, like that, I said, that's one of many complaints from the season. Let's talk about that, though.
It kind of felt like a Transformers film, too, with the action, because it was so zoomed in at some points. I'm like, what is happening? Like, who is this?
Well, part of the problem is, I said, it's just, I don't know why. I said, for the life of me, I don't know why. And I was reading an article actually right before we hopped on the podcast today. So HBO, it's not HBO wanting to cancel this. So the series creators, DB Weiss and Dave Benoff, so they're the ones that are saying, "Hey, we're done. We're done. We're not going to do anymore." So we want this basically whole story arc to be 73 hours, and it's going to be 73 hours. And so, because HBO was fine with letting it go on, so this last season just seemed so rushed. And they're cramming basically everything into these, like, larger than life episodes. So, like, that specific episode that you're talking about was an hour and a half, but it was an hour and a half of, like, you could tell they were cutting so many corners, like, with special effects. Like, hey, you know what? Let's just go ahead. We're going to turn off the lights. And so that way you can't see you can't shoot our city costumes and this, that, and the other. So you won't be able to see anything. And, like, to Nate's point, it was so zoomed in. Like, so there was a couple points in the battle, like, so right when you were getting into it, like, we're like, okay, this is going to be epic. Like, say, especially when you see the Red Woman coming back. She lights the swords of the Thraki. Like I said, they all go charging off. Like, yeah, okay, we're getting started. We're this is gonna be an awesome battle scene. And then it just, I don't know. For me, it just fell flat.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree, especially for what this battle scene represents. I mean, the entire show, every single season, winter is coming. Winter is coming. We've had hints in bits and pieces of the White Walkers. We're getting more of it in season 7, season 6. We're kind of seeing how Jon's discovering how big of a threat this really is. And for people that aren't educated in the show, the White Walkers is basically the undead marching towards civilization. They're marching towards where everybody's living, the big wall, the Great Wall. I can't remember what they call it in the show, but it's just the wall.
The wall.
You got the Night's Watch, which guards the wall, guards the realm of men. In the show, everybody's been threatening, Ned Stark said it, winter is going to come at some point. We got to be ready for it. But everybody's been so concerned about the Iron Throne and fighting for that and all the deception, the politicking and killing of, your favorite characters. But everything has been leading to this one moment, and it was the Battle of the White Walkers, and that's what we got. But I was really surprised they finished all of it in one episode. And to Jeremy's earlier point, it felt like they were cutting corners the whole time. And they didn't really need to do that. I felt like they should have gone into the Cersei thing first, figure out who's on the Iron Throne, and then everybody's united and they face the White Walkers. And it's like an epic 2-part battle. And you see people die. And, even the way that the Night King died felt like a missed opportunity. Yes.
Yeah, it was very, very anticlimactic just because from and I think there's been 2 parallel stories running from episode 1 forward. It's you have the battle for the Iron Throne, basically who's going to run the kingdom of Westeros, and then you have the Great War with the White Walkers. I said both are established in the very, very first episode of Game of Thrones, and there's all this speculation. There's all this hey, where'd all these come from? Like I said, there's all this setup where you really never got to know, basically, like I said, what the motives for the Night King were. There was nothing. There's no explanation, no nothing. It's like, oh, he's stabbed. Oh, he's dead.
Yep. Yeah. Ari just jumps out of nowhere, stabs him, and it's over. And everybody, like the entire army. So the Night King, because I know Larry's probably like, what are they talking about? How's the whole army dead after this one? So the Night King, whoever he resurrects, they fight for him. And once he dies, everybody dies.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's kind of like this hive mind thing. Like he controls everybody and they all fight for him. So when this guy dies, the entire battle is just over with. And earlier we were talking about the fight scenes. A lot of the times you don't really know what's going on because it's they say in the show like, oh, it's dawn, the sun's not even up yet. But because of that, you can't really see a lot of what's happening. There's a lot of like these, dead people storming the castle. You kind of see bits and pieces of what's happening. Your favorite characters always seem to be on the edge of death. So you're like, are they going to die or not? And then they'll go away for 15 minutes, come back, and they're exactly where you left them. It's like, how the hell is he still alive? Because he was getting swarmed a second ago. Even the dragon fight. I know I'm talking a lot here. But the fight of the dragons, these dragons have been built up the entire show. In the last season, you see Viserion die, who's one of them. The Night King converts Viserion into his own dragon. And you're thinking, like, this is going to be freaking huge because now he has his own dragon. And they have this battle in the sky.
He's going to tear shit up now.
Yeah. And you get to see the dragon takes down the wall, which is kind of a scary thing because you're like, damn, that wall fell fast for what it's been built up in the show. And then they have a battle. And by the end of that episode, that Night King's dragon is dead and gone. It's no longer a thing.
Well, and I think too, it's just everything just feels so rushed.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, like there was, I think the mystery of Jon Snow's lineage. I think that's another thing. Like there's been this big build up to basically who really is Jon Snow, and it all ended up being. I said this was the episode prior to that battle was Sam's like, oh, you're actually a Targaryen, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's literally how it happens, and then it just seems so anticlimactic. Like there's this whole big build up to like who really is this guy, what's his lineage, this, that, and the other. It was such a woven story. It's like, and then at the end, like how he finds out, oh, you're this dude.
So I just heard two things that remind me a lot of Star Wars: The Last Jedi, right? The Night King dies super easy, kind of like Snoke. Rey's parents. We thought it was going to be this big thing, and then it's like, oh nope, they're nobody, and you just move right on. I'm seeing parallels here, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that you say that because you're right. They have these great ideas, but the execution of it is just poorly done. Because John's actually like a pivotal character now in the show because of what his lineage really is. He tells, Sam tells him like, hey, that girl that you've just had sex with and you're falling in love with? Yeah, she's actually your cousin. So good luck with that.
No, so I'm gonna make my pitch right now that I could have written Game of Thrones. This is I'm gonna do my pitch of how John should have found out that he's a Targaryen. All right,
do it.
So we said Sam doesn't tell John that he's a Targaryen, right? So erase that from history. We still have the Battle of Winterfell. When he's like about to face that dragon and like he's got the sword up, dude. I wish that dragon would have flamed him and like said just like burned him, like. But then he comes out of it alive. Then he's like, what the fuck? Like,
yes.
How the hell did I survive that? And then that's when the conversation happens with Sam. He's like, no. I was like, that's like, you actually said this is where you're from, and that's how he finds out. Not like that's just some, you're this dude.
Yeah. Well, and that's a great point. How did Danny not know that he had some kind of lineage? Because, the Targaryens are like these dragon people. They have dragon blood in them. So he's able to not only befriend the dragon who doesn't let anybody close to it, but he can also ride the dragon, and it doesn't care that, they're having this relationship with Danny. I mean, there's all these indicators that are saying this guy might be a Targaryen because he's really friendly with these dragons when nobody else has been before.
Yeah, so I think that was just very anticlimactic how we found out. I said the season just feels so rushed, and I said Nicola in the chat basically she's basically saying the same thing. She's like feels it's very rushed, and then I'm really curious too about what the final book is going to be about. I said, which I honestly don't think George R. R. Martin will ever finish the final book. I honestly think he's going to die before he finishes the book.
I mean, it's been a long time coming.
Is there even any point anymore? Does anybody like once the show's done? Does it matter?
I don't think people will care. I don't think people will care.
I mean, 5-10 years down the road, when Game of Thrones isn't, it's just like this old TV show. Yeah, nobody's gonna care.
Yeah, and unless he's telling something that's wildly different from the show, it probably won't really interest people. And
it has to be a lot better too.
Yeah, right. Nicola, I didn't realize this before, but I guess George R. R. Martin's not going to even watch the final season until he's done writing his book.
Oh, I'm calling bullshit right now on that.
I was going to say, how the hell can you not?
No, it's because you know what? Like I said, he's got writer's block right now, and he's like, oh shit, how do I finish this? It's like, if only there was some way that I could have inspiration. So literally, I guarantee you right now, he's going to take literally the same story, change around some of the different characters, just slightly in regards to some of the events that happened, and that's going to be it.
Well, and take everyone's feedback from the internet too. Yeah. Right? Like, and just make it better.
Yeah, what a way to market. Yeah, what a way to market yourself. Were you disappointed with the show? Read my book. You're probably going to be a little bit more happy.
Then you're the hero. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great point.
No, and then he's going to be printing the money.
Yeah. Like he needs more of it.
Yeah. So, Jeremy, I do want to get your point about where we're at in the show now. So we're going to talk about the most recent episode. And it seemed like it was the episode to shit on Danny. All this bad stuff keeps happening to her. So she's lost a dragon. She lost Jorah. These are all people that are close to her. Now, in the most recent episode, her other dragon gets killed immediately. Like, they're flying through the air. Boom. Cersei shoots 2 arrows into the dragon, falls in the ocean dead. Then at the end of the episode, Missandre, am I saying that right? I don't know if I'm saying her name right. But she gets her head chopped off. So, and her entire army basically got wiped out in the previous episode with the Battle of the White Walkers. I feel like they're setting up Cersei to be the Mad Queen, kind of like her father was the Mad King. Like, she's going to go freaking nuts, I think, now. Plus, she thinks Jon's going to take the throne away from her. She knows that people are loyal to Jon because she's a foreigner. They don't like her. She doesn't feel welcome. There's all these things that are kind of indicating there's going to be a clash or something's going to happen there. What do you think, Jeremy?
So I think you're absolutely 100% right. Like I said, they're literally painting her. Like I said, basically, like I think she's gonna snap. I think she's gonna snap. Just because, like I said, her quest in her mind is that she wants that throne so bad beyond anything else that she's not gonna let anything stop her.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the killing of Mrs. Andre or whatever, Melisandre or whatever.
Yeah.
I think, and then, especially with her last words was Dracarys, like basically light the bitch up, like fun, like let's just wipe them all out. I think that it's going to be. The actual final battle isn't going to be between Cersei and Dany. It's going to be between Jon and Dany. And I think Jon's going to have to take her out.
Yeah, I do too. And that's sad too, because you feel like her character just got robbed because the entire show has been, like Jeremy was talking about, she feels like her destiny is beyond the Iron Throne. She's gone so far. She's overcome so many things. She's become this huge power now. She's got the entire army. She's got people that are loyal to her. The entire show, she's been making her way towards the Iron Throne. And now she's there and it's all just falling apart. And it's really kind of sad to watch. But I guess it kind of falls in line with Game of Thrones. Your favorite characters, the ones you really root for, end up having the shittiest outcomes. And they either die or something horrible happens to them. So I feel like we're going that route with Dany. They're going to crush our dreams one last time by just ruining her story.
No.
And then,
well, I said not before she finishes her Starbucks.
Yes, the Starbucks incident.
Oops.
Yeah. Did you hear about this one, Larry?
I did. I saw memes of it, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I saw pictures of a Starbucks cup.
Pretty funny. How the hell does that get into post-production?
It's, I said that's part of it feeling rushed. Like
sloppy.
It's so sloppy.
Right?
Yeah, that's true. It does feel rushed because of that. So if you guys aren't familiar with what we're talking about, in the last episode, and I actually slowed it down after I had seen it, I watched it again. And it's there. There's a scene where they're all kind of celebrating about their win and they're in the pub together. And all of a sudden it shoots to Dany and she's got a Starbucks cup in front of her. It does not belong in this show because
it's like right in front of her.
It's like right in front of her.
Right in front of her.
Well, here, let me. I said, keep talking amongst yourselves. Let me pull it up.
Yes,
just because I think it's worth a look.
That seems like something that someone should have noticed, or multiple someones, right? Like it's a big cast. How did no one notice that?
Yeah, and you got to film it. You have to edit it. Then you have to go into post-production before it airs on HBO. So there's at least 5 viewings of this episode, at the least, before it goes on.
All right. So here is the infamous Starbucks. Like, it's just like chilling.
Pretty obvious, man.
Just chilling. And it's funny they spoke up. They're like, that actually wasn't Starbucks. That was just an herbal tea from our craft brewing area. It's like, it doesn't matter. And I'm sure Starbucks is like, thank you so much. That was great free marketing.
They need to do some type of commercial about it or something, or hire her as a spokeswoman. Like you gotta capitalize on this.
They literally gotta play out that meme, because I said that the meme that's going around is the hey, I have an order for Daenerys Targaryen, first of her name, breaker of chains, and her 500 billion names that she has.
Yeah.
It doesn't like it won't fit on the cup. Like I said, it's amazing.
That'd be genius if they played up to it. like Larry said, they should make commercials about
do something, even if it's just like I've got an order for Daenerys, and then you just try to like you do 50 different pronunciations of it since it's such a weird name. Like,
Yeah,
you got to do something, man.
And like Nicola said, HBO actually went in. I think this was Wednesday. They went in and digitally removed the cup from the episode, so you can't see it anymore.
Oh my!
Yeah,
future generations will never fully appreciate the Starbucks.
It just goes back to Jeremy's point. This feels like a rushed season. They limited it to 6 episodes for whatever reason. They could have easily had 10 for what they're trying to tell, and not catching a cup in post-production. That just seems like, record it, cut it, get it out there. Let's go, guys. Let's go, go.
That happens. Like so for example, like in Braveheart, there's people wearing like digital watches and stuff like that. Like there's like stuff like that happens. But like I said, to have like a big ass cup that's just sitting there that no one notices, like, okay, cut everybody, like who left their fucking cup here?
Yeah. Somebody had to throw that cup away at the end of the day. That guy's probably just like, screw those messy people. Like, I'm not telling anybody.
Well, it was probably the actress Emilia Clarke who plays Daenerys. It was her coffee, and she put it up, and they're like, cut. All right, let's go.
You think when you picked it up at the end of the scene, though, you'd be like, was that there the whole time?
Oh shit!
I'm not gonna say they could just Photoshop that out.
It'll be all right. It'll be all right.
Yeah,
somebody will catch that.
Well, okay, so I'm gonna bring this up one more time, like just for the fact of, like I said, you're also holding a cup, so why can't you just put whatever beverage you're drinking in the fake cup?
True.
Yeah. So
like when you go to the public pool and they say no alcohol, so you just put it in like a plastic thermos.
Yeah.
Or
a sunscreen bottle. Yeah, there's multiple different options to stick booze in the pool.
Yes. So I want to get your opinion on another thing that happened this episode that really rubbed me the wrong way. What did you think about the Ghost John interaction?
Wait, meaning how Ghost got ghosted?
Oh. Yeah. What the hell is that? Is that like a final send-off? That's all we're going to see? Is basically John saying, hey, take this dog. I don't want it anymore. And then doesn't even give it any affection at all.
Yeah, no, not even a pet.
No, like, nothing.
Like it's fought through battles. It's guarded him when when he died. Like I said, it's been by his side the entire time. And all of a sudden he's like, yeah, I don't want this dog anymore. Like go ahead and take it back.
Yeah. It saved his life at one point.
Yeah, Ghost got ghosted.
Sad. So they have like these dire wolves in the show, and every main character has had one, and most of them have died off. And we finally get to see John interact with his dire wolf, and basically what he says is, "Yeah, go live with somewhere else. I don't want you anymore." And that's it. Freaking the wolf just looks so sad.
It has one ear because I said it got bitten off in the last battle. Like I said, it's all like cut up.
Yeah, it was fighting in the battle and everything. It was like trying to help win and just got the cold shoulder. It was sad.
He got ghosted.
Yeah.
He got ghosted.
Just keep saying it, Jeremy.
He got ghosted. He got ghosted.
Now I see. You're connecting them. Oh, I get it. Oh, jeez.
Punny.
Very punny. Now, with 2 episodes left, like I said, I'm anxious to see how it's going to end, but at the same point in time, I'm like, this season, like it's not leaving me with that cliffhanger every single episode. It's making me like really, like that's like I said, you made me. Well, one, they delayed the season a whole year, so like I said, the last season came out almost 2 years ago. So you delayed this whole season a year, and I only get 6 episodes, and this is what you give me. It just seems, like I said, very anticlimactic, very sloppy, very messy, and it seems like, you know what? Hey, we're just done. We're gonna wrap it up and be done with it.
Yeah, I agree. It just seems like they're trying to force it to a close. And even the first 2 episodes were basically just hanging out and characters getting to interact that haven't seen each other in a while, which is a cool fan treat. But you start thinking to yourself, like, okay, we got 6 episodes and we just wasted 2 on these people just hanging out together.
Speaking of, like I said, one of those episodes. Another fun fact of Game of Thrones is so a specific scene caused a Google search to spike by 10,000%.
Ooh, do I know what it is?
Do you know what it is?
How old is that one girl?
Yep. How
Yeah.
old is Maisie Williams?
Yeah.
Oh,
See,
boy.
I even knew what it was.
Because Maisie Williams, aka Arya Stark, she went to Pound Town.
She gets it on this season.
She gets it on, and what
But she looks like she's like 12, right?
what and that's the thing. She's 22. But here's the thing: she started the show when she was 11.
Oh wow!
So she's been on the show since she's 11, and she really doesn't look too different.
No,
That's crazy. Yeah.
yeah, I'm surprised she's 22 because she looks very young still.
Yeah, but she I guess I was reading, I was watching, I think it was like a Conan O'Brien interview or Jimmy Kimmel interview, something like that. One of the late night interviews with her, and she was talking about the scene where she didn't actually even read it. Someone actually told her about, like, oh yeah, guess what? You finally get to take off your clothes and go to Pound Town with Gendry. And she's like, come on, no, I don't. And she reads the script. She's like, oh my god, yeah, I do. And the most embarrassing thing with her was, like I said, she watched the episode with her parents, basically, while she's basically going to Pound Town on Gendry.
Oh no! Then that scene just seemed kind of out of character, really, to be honest. Because Arya, from what they've built her up, she's like a kind of a lone wolf. She doesn't care really about relationships. She doesn't care about any of that stuff. She just cares about training, getting better at fighting, and then killing the people that are on her list. And then all of a sudden she's like, all right, I might die here. Let's go ahead and try it out.
No, well, and I think that's my thing. It's just, I think, I hope there's a lot of things they put in there, I think, honestly, for fan service. I think literally, like I said, like, hey, can we shock the fans? This is something the fans wanted to see. Can we shock them and actually do it? And I honestly think that's the reason why that was in there, not for anything else. Because literally it serves no other purpose. Because we literally learn about basically the developing relationship between her and Gendry literally in 2 episodes. Yep. And that's it.
Well, and it's snuffed out at the end of 8 because she's, Gendry's basically like, hey, will you marry me? And she's like, no, that's not my thing at all. See you later.
Yeah. she's like, he didn't work wonders for me.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to try Nate's car service, auto.
I've heard of this thing called autoerotica. I'm going to see if I can get some more money there.
It's all about the autoerotica. So, any predictions for the next 2 episodes?
I think Cersei's gonna not Cersei. I think Dany's gonna go nuts and maybe kill Cersei in the process, or at least try some kamikaze style move with her dragon and taking out a bunch of people. I don't know. You can see her at the end of that episode. She's like just like fuming. She wants to kill someone, and she's really angry.
Starbucks cup.
Yeah. Somebody said I'd have Starbucks. Yeah, pretty much.
Give me my double mocha.
I don't know. I think it's they left the episode focusing on her. I think they're going to open the episode as a resolution of what will happen to Dany.
Larry, like I said, I know you have. Like I said, you haven't been watching the show, but you are the master craft of storytelling and how shows should end. Larry, what is your take on how this should end?
Oh, I'm actually really curious to hear
That's okay.
Come on, Larry. You always have great ideas.
Talk about putting somebody on the spot who barely knows characters, like that one girl. Apparently her name's Arya or something like that. So, all right. So here's what I know about Game of Thrones, right? You got Jon Snow, you got Daenerys. They seem like they're the 2 main characters. I don't know who else is alive. That Lannister guy who's going to be at Phoenix Fan Fusion. That dude's still alive, I think. But like, I feel like Jon Snow and Daenerys are the main characters. So they too like have to do something big about. They should probably get married, even though they're cousins. That's what I'm going with. And then they fly off on a dragon, and it just fades to black.
Nice. So basically, it's a. Well, did you guys ever watch Arrested Development?
Not really.
So George Michael was always infatuated with his cousin. So basically, I think basically they fade off into sunset, and then it basically fades into Arrested Development because with my cousin loving.
Same universe. That's neat.
I think that's what everybody wants to see is John and Danny just coming to terms with it. You know, John's the king, Danny's his queen. They have a kid. Everybody's happy. They have all these dragons together. That would be awesome.
If you're doing fan service, maybe that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
No, this is how I want it to go down. I want everyone to just be freaking wiped out. Just kill everyone. Like all the main characters, you know what? Just one fail swoop, boom, they're all gone. Basically, then, hey, you know what? All the people realize, like, hey, you know what? Why do we need kings and queens? We can just run ourselves.
Right.
And that's where democracy is born.
Right. Then George Washington steps up and crosses the Delaware.
Exactly.
Sure.
Leads right into modern civilization.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't know. Like I said, I was kind of being like joking there, but at the same point in time, I wasn't. I literally want everyone to die. Like,
I like it. And then like they show some kids or something, right? And then it's like starting over.
Yeah.
Right. It's just a hard reset.
Yeah, it's a hard reset.
Yeah.
And basically maybe it's a mom or a dad reading the story.
Sure.
Hey, this is hey, you don't want to be like this, otherwise you're gonna turn out like this. And it basically turns, like I said, it fades into that, and then but everyone's dead.
Yeah. And I'm kind of surprised there aren't more main characters dead already. Because we know it's the end of the show, but there's still quite a lot of people alive. So we're going to have to do a whole lot of killing.
Yeah. Well, didn't like people were doing like March Madness style brackets for who's going to die, right? Does that mean not that many people have died already?
No.
Yeah. No.
This season at least? Yeah.
They were doing Deadpools.
Oh. I get it.
There's been a lot of outlier characters, maybe some more major ones the last time, like Jorah, Theon. But even those guys aren't the big dogs of the show, like the big, names in the show. We still have Sansa, we still have Jon, we still have Dany, we still have Cersei, the Mountain, the Hound. I mean, there's a ton of people that are still alive. So I think episode 5, we're probably going to see quite a few deaths. I think a lot of people are going to die in episode 5.
So I think you're right. I think a lot of people are going to die, and I don't know. I just think there's I hope they redeem themselves in these last few episodes. I'm not holding up much hope, but I'm hoping to do. Plus, like I said, I want to see Clegane Bowl. Like I said, I want to see the Mountain take on the Hound.
If we don't get that, that is a serious mistake.
Yeah, like I said, if we don't get that, that's so friggin' stupid.
Because we haven't even seen this new Mountain like unleashed. He's been so tamed. Like, we've seen like bits and pieces of what he could be, but the Mountain to begin with was, he crushed a guy's head with his bare hands, and now we have this poisonous like undead. The Mountain. I want to see him unleashed in his full potential. I feel like he's going to kill a lot of people, and then the Hound's going to have to try to fight him, and they're going to kill each other.
Well, I just can't wait to, like I said, finally have some of these characters over and done with. Like Jorah Mormont, like I said, his actor voice is way better than his real voice. Have you heard the guy who plays Jorah Mormont? I think his name is Ian Glenn.
No.
So imagine you had a British guy and a surfer dude from California, and you merge those two personalities together. That's what the guy sounds like in real life.
That is surprising for how thick his accent sounds on the show. And he was in randomly, he was in Lara Croft, the first Lara Croft movie with Angelina Jolie. He was like the main baddie in that, which I didn't realize until it was on TV randomly. And yeah, his voice did sound different, I will say.
It's It's really crazy. Here, let me see if I can play a little snippet.
Good runnings with any of the fans?
There's been the odd slightly strange. I was walking through an airport in Germany, and
That is.
yeah, I was just sort of like, you can sense people's physicality, and I thought, oh, no, this elderly, well, she wasn't, so it's a bit rude. She was like a 60-year-old woman. I could feel a frisson that she recognized me, and I sort of kept my head down and carried on. And on the way back, I just sort of got coffee and was heading back. And she was American. She said, "Excuse me." I said, "Yes." She said, "Are you Ian Glenn?" And I said, "Yes, I am." She said, "Could you do me a favor?" I said, "Sure. Can you just look at me and say Khaleesi?" And I said, "Sure, yeah, Khaleesi." And she, "Oh, so thank you so much." So that's kind of weird. But
But it's like you said, he sounds so different in real life than he compared to the show.
Yeah, that's a lot different than I was expecting.
Well, and that wasn't even the video I was trying to find. The video I was trying to find is basically where he's like playing the ukulele. Like it's pretty epic. And honestly, like I said, I'm hoping we get to do this at Comic-Con. I'm hoping we get to have some ad hoc interview type stuff because that'd be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that would be great.
That would be cool. Stay tuned to the STS Guys YouTube channel for some awesome San Diego Comic-Con coverage, including possibly, maybe, celebrity interviews.
What? That sounds amazing.
You know what else you can do?
What up, Larry?
You can go over to Instagram and follow us at STS Guys. And then you can go over to Twitter and follow us at STS Guys. And we are on the Facebook at the STS Guys. And I am Larry from the STS Guys.
Chilling like a villain.
Chilling like a villain.
You know what? I was just checking out shumistore.com, and there are 4 pages of Game of Thrones things. So if you go to shumistore.com, you can get your Jon Snow pops. You can get your Daenerys pops. You can get the Night King. You can get Lord Varys, whoever he is. You can get Yara Greyjoy. You can get all your Game of Thrones pops. And if you enter code STS Guys, you're going to save 10%.
Have your Game of Thrones pops to watch the rest of the season with and save money in the process.
That's amazing.
And Shumi's got the mint box guarantee, so you don't got to worry about those pops getting damaged because Shumi's going to go through and individually check every single one. He's going to slip it into a super awesome pop protector, and then he's going to ship it off to you. And you're going to enter that code STS Guys at shumistore.com, and you're going to save that 10%.
I kid you not, though. I said, all jokes aside, his pop protectors are the best pop protectors I've ever seen.
Did you? I know you pre-ordered yours. Did they show up?
They haven't showed up yet, just because technically I have that on another pre-order because I pre-ordered. I pre-ordered that Bulbasaur.
Yeah. Okay.
That Bulbasaur yet? So
yeah. Well, I got mine. I ordered mine on like Friday, and I got them on Monday.
Oh, awesome!
So fast, like 2 hours late, like 2 hours after I placed the order. I got a Shumi notification in my email saying my order had shipped.
Yeah,
like it couldn't have been any faster.
And I know exactly what you ordered those for.
Yeah, Comic-Con.
Comic-Con.
Just in case, yeah. Plus, it couldn't hurt. Like 50 protectors. I've got a lot of pops that aren't in protectors. It's hard to throw down. Like they're like what, about $1 a piece shipped. It's hard to throw down $50 like at a time. Sometimes on supplies, but sometimes you gotta treat yourself and take care of your collection, right? Take care of these your pops.
Because there's some stuff that just like sneaks up on you with like kind of like surprise value, like that's like I don't know why I don't know why this one specifically. I said I'm not even a fan of this pop, but it's gone crazy value lately. It's the Tony Stark with holding the helmet. San Diego.
Oh yeah. I kind of forgot about that one.
Yeah, that's that. You know, it's a $65 pop now.
Well, I mean, it's probably because he died off, right? I mean, he's going to be probably. He's going to be sought after.
But there's multiple different Tony Starks. It's just that one.
There's a lot of Tony Stark pops.
A lot of Tony Stark pop. Yeah, that one shot up to like $65.
Wow,
that's weird.
It is really weird. But you know what? It went in a Shumi protector.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you guys have some valuable stuff, so I think it behooves you to protect your collection, because if you look at it, just anything that they have, and I know Larry's got a ton of autograph stuff, Jeremy's got some stuff that's autographed. You got a lot of exclusive, you got a lot of really valuable things you got at fun days. I mean, if you're an average collector, you've got to protect your collection, because you never know when that value is going to shoot up.
Yep.
So,
And on that note, for episode 83 of the STS Guys, I've been Jeremy.
Hey, it's Larry.
hey guys, it's been Nate.
And I'm Jeremy.
Scott's out sick.
Scott's out sick.
So, and it said, where you will hear the audio, you will hear the audio here on the audio version of the Scott's Out Sick song. So, hope you enjoy.